I frequently come across objects that seem out of place in photographs from the Old West, from Sioux warriors wearing goggles to Japanese katana swords. In this photograph, inside the reservation home of the once fierce Lakota chief Red Cloud, a katana hangs on the wall. A few theories have been offered to how it got there. One is that Red Cloud was in Washington at the same time as a Japanese delegation, and it was presented as a gift to the old chief. Another is that it was given to him from a member of the Japanese troupe that toured the country with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show for a time. Another photograph shows Dogchild of the Blackfoot tribe. He looks well armed with a holstered revolver and a katana. He scouted for the Canadian Northwest Mounted Police. I can't think of how Dogchild obtained this sword that has traveled so far. Although far from being an expert, I have always held a fascination with these swords, and have managed to acquire 3 of the modern type of swords from World War II. These particular swords are called Shingun-to, or New Military Sword. After 1900, the Japanese began to develop their army into a more westernized force. But in 1934, they changed the modern sword back to a more traditional styling. The 2 lower swords pictured here are Shingun-tos. Their scabbards have leather combat covers. The lower sword has traditional fittings for the handle and guards, while the middle sword has the standard military fittings used during World War II. Both have old blades from the late 1800s. The top sword in the photograph is a non-commissioned officer's, or NCO sword. This sword was made by machine in factories to supply the army with a robust, efficient, and traditional-looking sword for their NCOs. Every Japanese officer was required to wear a sword. The NCO's swords have aluminum handles, like on the right, designed to resemble a traditionally made handle like the one on the left. The lower 2 sword blades were made by hand, but the blades were not made in the old traditional way. The very old blades could take up to 3 months to make by a master sword maker. Some Japanese officers chose to take their old family ancestral samurai blades to war. These blades were made in the time-consuming traditional way and were fitted with normal military handles and fittings and are considered extremely valuable. The grip, or tsuka, is wrapped in rayskin. A silk cloth, or ito, is wrapped around the rayskin for better grip. Small charms called minuki are placed in the grip. The ones here are chrysanthemums. They represent longevity. A wavy temper line, or haimon, can be seen on handmade blades, a result of the manufacturing process by the sword maker. It is possible to identify the master sword smith who made the blade of the very old and valuable swords by the different hamen on the blade. Many sword makers signed their blades on the metal under the handle. GIs loved to souvenir the swords and sent many home. I often wonder how many priceless ancestral blades are sitting unrecognized in closets or basements around the country. Some Japanese prisoners were allowed to write their family details on a tag with the surrendered family sword in the hope of one day getting it returned. Many swords in collections still carry their surrender tags. Perhaps one day we will know where Red Cloud's sword came from, and more importantly, where it is today.